Here we go! One of the most anticipated knockoffs of the year is finally here. But is it any good? Let's find out! Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna take a look at CT Toys knockoff of Mayfac's Gambit, a figure that a lot of you wanted them to make and they finally delivered. I'm very excited to see how this guy turned out, and I have the original to compare him to, so we'll do all of that in a moment. Before we get started, a big thank you to the guys from CT Toys for sending this figure for a review. If you want to get your copy, you can do so by using the link in the video description. Okay, first a quick look at the packaging. It's a standard CT Toys box that imitates Mayfac's packaging, and I have it here, but it is much slimmer. It has a different shape, but it uses the same general idea. Of course, all texts and logos except the CT Toys logo down here are removed from the packaging, and we are left with a window showing the figure and some of the accessories. We have a close-up promo shot down here, and up here a comic book image of Gambit saying "with an ace up our sleeves" and the number 131 because that's the number of the original Mayfac's release. And then it says 6-inch and CT. Side of the box shows Gambit throwing his cards. On the back we have even more promo shots and all included accessories, effects and alternate head. Other side shows the figure in a vanilla pose. We have his comic book look and the next logo down here. Top of the box shows the same images that we already saw, and on the bottom we have warnings that you can't even read because of the dotted design of the background. Now, if this was an official Mayfac's release, I would say that this is a disastrous design choice, but because it's a knockoff, I don't really care, and I assume that most people don't care either. So now, let's open up the box and let's take a look at the figure. Here is our CT Toys Gambit out of the box, and so far everything looks and feels good. The plastic does not feel cheap, joints are nice and sturdy, and it really looks like CT successfully copied Mayfac's figure. We have this nice metallic shine of armored parts of his costume, and even his soft goods coat looks and feels good, especially for a knockoff. So again, looking at this guy like this, straight out of the box, he looks very impressive. CT Toys Gambit is around 16.3 centimeters tall, and that is the exact same height as the original Mayfac's figure. Here they are side by side, and you can see that they have the same height. We'll make a more detailed comparison of the two in a few moments. First, I want to see this CT version on its own. His coat is wired and posable, so you can get some nice and dynamic poses just by messing around with the coat. I love this, and in my opinion, it's incredible that CT was able to replicate that. I've talked about it in my past videos, but ever since they made a knockoff of Scarlet Spider that came with alternate soft goods hoodie, we were talking about the possibility of them making a Gambit KO, and they did it. We now live in a world where these guys can practically make a high quality copy of any figure. Now, I'm not saying that a knockoff is the same quality as the original. It's not, and probably never will be. But for a knockoff that you can get for around 20 to 30 bucks or euros, it's amazing what these guys are doing. Again, amazing if you don't mind buying knockoffs and bootlegs. But getting back to this coat, you will find that the stitching can be kind of sloppy on few spots. But again, for a knockoff, they did a great job. Here is how it looks from the back, and you can see that the collar with these lines and then the stitching here, it is really incredible that KOs now have this level of quality. Well, at least CT releases. Of course, the coat is removable, and to do that we need to pop off the hands and the coat simply slides off. And so without the coat, here is how the body looks. We have the already mentioned metallic torso and these stripes on arms and legs. We also have his shiny lower legs and feet, and then we have a closer look at the default head that also turned out pretty good. Maybe the sculpt is slightly softer than I would like it to be, but it's not bad at all. Eyes and eyebrows are cleanly painted. There is also a little bit of beard indicated down here around on the mouth and on the chin. Sculpt of the hair is also slightly softer, but looks good. Guys from City really did a great job on this copy, and that's good for all of you guys who maybe can't get the original, but now you have this CT as a nice option. Since we have his coat off, let's now take a look at his articulation. The head and the neck give you a nice range of movement in all directions. The head can rotate 360, it gets a nice side-to-side tilt. This is how far he can look down, and then this is how far he looks up. He has a nice butterfly joint, and this is how far the arms go across his chest, and then this is how far they go across his back. Arms, of course, rotate 360. This is how far they move out. There is a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow that bends this much. We have a swivel in the wrist and a hinge in all directions. Then we have two cuts in the torso, and together they give you a nice range of movement. You get a side-to-side tilt, and this is how far he bends forward, and then this is how far he bends back. This guy has drop-down hips. This is how far his legs go out, and here is how far they move forwards and back. We have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees that bend this much, a swivel in the ankles, feet move forward this much, back this much. We have a nice toe joint and a generous ankle pivot. So his articulation range is practically identical to the original Mafex figure. Let's now take a look at his accessories. We already saw his coat, and as I mentioned, it is fully wired. You have a wire going on the side here, down here, and here as well, and then also up here in the collar. He comes with an alternate head, with an angry face expression, and this also turned out pretty good. Everything is really well painted here. The eyes, teeth, everything is done really well. And here is another look at the hair. We can compare the two just to see how they look side by side. I think that the hair sculpt is the same, it's just the face that is different. But yeah, both of these turned out pretty good. When switching out the heads, be careful because this back joint easily comes out, so be careful not to lose it. We pop on the alternate head, and here is how that looks. Then he comes with 6 pairs of hands. We have a pair of fisted hands already on the figure, then a pair of open hands, a pair of hands for holding his cards, a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of gripping hands, and another pair of open hands, but with these pegs attached to them, because these are meant to be used for his card throwing effects. He also comes with his staff, and we have those gripping hands that are meant to hold the staff. Let's see if it will work. And yeah, it's a tight grip, but these hands do hold the staff. That's good. Then we also get a pair of these flame effects that have peg holes here, and these should go on the staff like this and like this. And this is now the effect that we get, so we can pose him like he's spinning the staff. Then we get this one card that is charged up, and we also get 2 charged up cards. They both look pretty good. And then we also get 2 of these card throwing effects, and as you can see, they have a different sculpt. This one has much more texture, while this one is smoother, but both of them have like 3 cards connected to them like he is throwing them. And to be able to use these, because these are kind of heavy accessories, they also give you this small base that requires a little bit of assembly, but nothing too complicated. But as you can see, there is this little piece here onto which these effects can go, so this can hold them. But if you guys know the original Mafex figure, then you're practically familiar with all of this that this guy comes with. We also get a display stand for the figure. And just in case someone is not familiar with the original, here is a quick demonstration of the hand that should be used for these throwing effects. There is a peg hole here, so this is where you peg in these hands, and this is the effect that you get, like the hand is swinging and throwing the cards. Swapping out the hands is also not an issue. You simply remove this one and we slide on alternate hand, and we can give him his cards charged up, and this is the effect that we get. Let's now compare this guy to some other figures, and we're gonna go back to comparing him to the original Mafex figure. Here is a close-up shot of both heads. CT is on our left, original Mafex is on our right, and here you immediately see the difference between a knockoff and and original. CT version is fine on its own, but when you see it next to the original, it becomes clear that this head sculpt is much better. First of all, the shape is slightly different. Mayfac's head is more elongated, skin tone is pale, and details on the face are sharper. Same goes for the hair. Again, CT copy is good on its own, but Mayfac's original has a better head sculpt. Of course, this is a $100 figure and this is a $30 copy, so some differences have to be seen. Sculpt of the torso is similar, but the paint on CT is slightly darker. Details of the boots are also sharper on the original. Soft goods coats also have a different quality. Original looks and feels better. CT version is made out of a rougher material, but texture is practically the same. Mayfac's coat is also in a slightly warmer tone of brown in comparison to the CT. The stitching is much more premium on the original. Here it is less noticeable than it is on CT, where the stitches are bigger and sloppy on few spots. But kudos to CT for trying to replicate all of this and a line pattern that we see up here and here on the collar. They also did a nice job copying this strap on the sleeves and here on the shoulders, where we also have this little button. And here is a comparison of the back of the two coats, and again, CT here really tried their best to replicate the design of the original. And I think that they did a pretty good job. Now, as already mentioned, these two guys have the same height, so I'm curious to see if parts like heads and hands are swappable between them. You never know, maybe that kind of information will be useful to some people out there. Let's try to put the original head on the CT body, and unfortunately this does not want to pop on. I'm not sure why. Here is a comparison of the two neck joints. This is CT, this is the original Mayfac's. It looks like Mayfac's has a slightly bigger ball joint. Let's try the CT head on the original Mayfac's body. This will not pop on either, so I'm sure it could be done, but it will need a little bit of customizing. If, for example, you want to use the CT body or the original alternate head, you will need to do some customizing. Switching out the hands, let's see if the CT hands will work on the original figure. And yep, they fit perfectly, and you can see that this is a CT Toys hand because there is an obvious difference in the skin tone. It is not as pale as the original face. I'm pleased to say that the hands work perfectly on the original body, and that probably means that the original hands should also work on the CT Toys body. So yeah, it's not as perfect fit as it is on the original, but this still does work. As you can see, all the articulation is there. The wrist joint does hold the hand on, so there's that. So maybe, as I said, that information could help someone if you need like custom parts and pieces or like spare parts for your original Gambit. This CT will do just fine. Moving on with our comparison, here is how CT Toys Gambit scales with the original Mayfac's classic suit Spidey and Daredevil. Here he is with Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine and their symbiote Spidey. Here is how he scales with CT Toys Brown Suit Wolverine and the Amazing Spider-Man, and I think that this works perfectly. Gambit and Wolverine scale great together, and of course the Amazing Spider-Man is too short, but we know that. Here is how he scales with the original SH Figuarts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and original Sentinel Peter B. Parker. And then here he is next to the CT Toys knockoff of Revoltech 2.0 Spidey and Mass Toys custom symbiote Spidey on that same 2.0 Revoltech body. Here he is next to two more Revoltech knockoffs. We have the CT Toys Agent Venom and AliExpress knockoff of 2.0 Deadpool. Here is how he scales with Star Wars The Black Series Vader and Stormtrooper. And then to compare him to some larger figures, here is how he scales with NECA TMNT Movie Raphael and Masters of the Universe Revelation He-Man. Here is how he scales with Savage Crucible Veteris Repax and NECA Feral Predator. And finally, here he is with YOLO Park Transformers AMK Pro Series, Optimus and Starscream. So there you go, that was my look at CT Toys Gambit. Now, do I think that this figure is worth getting? Well, it all depends on what you want, but to me, it is worth getting. It has the the same height as the original, comes with the same accessories, and the only obvious difference are the heads. They are good, don't get me wrong, but they don't have the same quality of details as the original. And that's fine, that's not a knock on CT copy. This is a knockoff, and I don't expect it to be identical to the original. I'm just pointing it out so that you know what you are getting. If you're not looking for it to be identical to the original, this is a fantastic looking Gambit. Let's put it this way, if I didn't have the original, I would be perfectly happy with this CT version. These guys did another phenomenal job and gave fans a Gambit KO that they wanted for a long time and for an affordable price. It's good that this guy is out there on the market. It's good for those who don't have the original. It's even good for those who do have the original but maybe want a fantastic Mafex Gambit body for customizing or spare parts. This CT Gambit could be their best figure in 2025, even though we are getting their Hush Batman, and who knows what else they have in store for us. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, I would say that this is probably one of the best figures they made so far, and again, I do recommend that you get it. A high quality knockoff that has great articulation and comes with all the accessories you need. This is the ultimate Gambit for your 112 collection if you can't get the original. But of course, these are just my thoughts, and now I would love to hear yours. What do you guys think about this figure? Do you like how it turned out? Do you plan on getting it? Let me know all of it down in the comments. Once again, a big thank you to the guys from City Toys for sending this figure for a review. If you want to get your copy, you can do so over the link in the video description. As always, a huge thank you to my Patreon and channel members for their support. If you can also join and help, please do so. Links are in the video description. And of course, to all of you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.